Hey, welcome to KirbKast today. Today with me in the studio, I have none other than Bhushan Govilkar. Bhushan, how you doing today, pal?
Pretty good. I'm excited about this.
Dude, I'm so glad you're with us here today.
I'm glad too, man.
So if you guys don't know, here at KirbKast, I just find the next thing that's going to happen in the limelight in the future. And I got a special guest all the way coming from India.
Yup.
Bhushan, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, currently I'm a student of Full Sail University studying recording arts. Before this, I have been studying and working under a Hall of Fame inductee in Full Sail, Ashish Manchanda, back in Mumbai, India. And I worked on a couple interesting projects through him and by myself. I was also doing some freelancing as a recording and mixing engineer, worked with jingles, independent artists, etc. So yeah, it's been a good role till now.
Wow, man, that's quite a resume. That's awesome. So, coming from India to the States, man, how big of an adventure was that?
Oh, it was a huge decision in my life. So I had to be completely sure that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Otherwise, it wasn't just worth the money and leaving everything back home, leaving the contacts, leaving the career that I was going for, and just exploring new things. But well, after a certain point of time, when you're in the industry, you want to kind of explore and see what's happening on the other side of the world. So that's what got me here.
Wow. Yeah, definitely a big step. Cool. So it's RA that you're in for. That is your major for Full Sail at the moment.
That's right.
Okay, cool. So what brings you to coming to such a thing like the RA in Central? Music itself. What music does the toll have on you?
Well, I'm not gravitated towards anything particular, but what I started with was playing an instrument called the tabla drum, which is a traditional Indian percussive instrument.
Tabla drum?
Tabla drum, Tabla. Yeah,
Cool.
this one.
What does that look like?
It's two pieces of drums. One is aluminium, the other is wood. The wood one is the pitch element. It is a tuned percussion.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can tune it about a one step up, one step down. That's about the range it goes. If you need anything other than that, you need to get a separate drum.
Kind of like a timpani in a certain way.
Kind of, but timpani has a control while playing. This is a static pitch.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah, but you
Okay.
can tune it to the root note of the song. And
Gotcha.
That's actually how it's done. And the other aluminum drum is the bass element. So put together, it creates a pretty cool sound.
Neat. I gotta hear that sometime.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll throw some tracks.
But continue about it.
Right. So that's what I started with at the age of 7. So since then, I have been in music, and because of my mom was a professional singer and a tutor back home.
Really?
Yeah. So that's what got me into music. And as things happen in India, the education is pretty it's concentrated. Like everybody needs to be at least a bachelor holding some legitimate degree
Really?
to earn some kind of a living, especially in a city like Mumbai where everything is so fast paced. So
That's just kind of like the expectation
it's
that.
the expectation, is the social norm, everything put together.
Okay.
So I did my bachelor's in electronics engineering. And at the end of it, I was like, I don't want to be stuck into doing just this. I enjoyed it, not like I didn't. But I wanted to correlate that with music in some way, shape, or form. That's when I started looking for different careers. And 1 month after my finals of Bachelor's of Engineering, I got the degree and I stepped into a studio, and that was it.
You just fell in love right there, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Circuits and music.
So electric engineering is where you had your feet before, but you just decided that it's just, I love music too much. I need to find some way to get myself involved with it.
That's right.
That's awesome, man.
Yep.
A lot of people when they're put in that proposition, they especially like who they have on their back are telling them. Some people just may have to drop what they truly love, especially with music, just so they can get a paycheck and pay for their mouth or other people's mouths in general.
True. As in, I can't thank my parents enough because they're the ones without whose support I would have never been here.
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, they give me the motivation, like do what you want to do because you're gonna love it and you're gonna be successful in it. That's all that matters.
You need that motivation, man. That's that
definitely.
secret drive at the end of the day. So let's talk about where you're from yourself. Tell us about India.
Well, India is a super diverse country. There are, I guess, 200 different languages, a little more actually.
Wow.
And the culture kind of changes. Like you can hear a different dialect, different food, different folk music, and everything changes every 200 miles.
Wow.
By a slight amount, exactly. So,
That's very cool.
Exactly, and it's fun. So when you travel, you learn more about different things. Even after living there for 25 years, I think I know about 20% of India.
Shoot.
which is still a lot. But
Every time you travel, you get a little smarter. That's pretty cool.
yeah, and you learn about new things, new people, new food. I'm a foodie, by the way. So
Who doesn't, baby? Who doesn't?
Yep. So that's how India is, and that kind of reflects in the music industry out there. So you have elements coming in from different states, from the south, from the north, from the east, west. Everybody collaborates, and it's a new flavor. There is obviously the Bollywood industry, which is the biggest money source there is in India when it comes to film and music.
Okay.
But apart from that too, nowadays there are a lot of independent bands that are growing up and crossing genres of music.
Yeah.
Jazz, blues, and rock and stuff, which is more of a Western style to
Right,
Indian
yeah,
folk style,
yeah.
and creating new things. So
Very-
it's
very
pretty cool. Yeah, I was actually a drummer for a band that did exactly that. There is a form of music called Carnatic music, which comes from the south part of India.
Carnatic.
Carnatic. So
Carnatic.
Karnataka is a state, and Carnatic music is the music that comes from that state originally.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
It involves a lot of violin, actually. Ironically, even though it's not an Indian instrument, they use a lot of violin to play their kind of music. And I used to be a drummer for a band which fused Carnatic music with progressive rock. So it was a pretty cool project.
Shoot, you got anything out there that I could ever like check out sometime?
Yeah, we got a SoundCloud, and obviously right now that I'm here, there's a different drummer and everything, and these guys are hitting it big in India.
Oh wow.
So I'll definitely
That's
link you up.
awesome. Yeah, for real, definitely. So they're moving on with the what's the name of the band? The
It's
group.
called Anand Bhaskar Collectives, and Anand Bhaskar is the name of the guy who's the lead vocalist and also the major songwriter of the band.
Okay, cool. And they're still going strong right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I'm
Even more
guessing,
so.
I'm guessing you just had to back out because of school.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You still keep in contact with them and
Oh
everything?
yeah. They're good friends. We hang out all the time when I'm back home, and as in it's just been once now, but it's pretty cool.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Deal. Neat. So, where you? What's the name of your city? Or I believe it's the capital, right? Of India.
No, it's not the capital of India. The capital is New Delhi. I'm from Mumbai,
Mumbai. That's it.
which
yeah.
is the economic capital, but it's not the political capital.
Tell us a little bit about Mumbai itself.
Mumbai is a replica of New York.
Really?
It's fast, it's busy, it's superly overpopulated, but it's fun because the people are nice. Everybody is into their own work, and one good thing about Mumbai is that you never get disregarded because of where you come from. It's only your merit that counts. So if you're good at something, you can live in Mumbai and easily make a living.
That's beautiful, man.
Yep.
That sounds like a city that has its like priorities straight.
Oh yeah.
There's, like you have much homeless there by chance? I mean, I'm sure every city has its homeless, but like,
Yeah.
how is poverty over there in Mumbai exactly?
Poverty is up high because it's a city where people are just pouring in. As I said, there are a lot of jobs.
Yeah,
you know,
everybody
a lot of
sees it as an
businesses.
opportunity. city.
Exactly. So there are a lot of people who come in, but real estate isn't that cheap, obviously.
Mm.
Like when I correlate it to New York, it's exactly the same way.
I see.
Right. So homeless people are there, but it's not necessarily that they are useless, you know?
Yeah.
They are there. Some people are working in restaurants and still earning a living. There are a lot of homeless people who are just on the streets, but as in, they're not a nuisance. If you know what it's difficult to explain.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Some will be bums, and then some will just eventually want to get somewhere else in their life,
Right, yeah.
other than just sleeping on the sidewalk.
Exactly. Everybody's just trying something, which is cool.
Cool. So you're from a land where people they see it as you need a job, you need a career, find something you're good at, and you'll be set for life.
Yes, and it's obviously a struggle like any other place,
Of
but
course.
at least there are opportunities.
Very cool. So, I guess it's not even a question. I'm from a small world as its own. I mean, I've only lived in so many places.
Mm-hmm.
How's the weather compared to Orlando to Mumbai?
It's pretty similar, actually.
No way.
Yeah.
So it rains every freaking day? And
No, apart from that, I was just getting at that. We have a monsoon season where it rains about 3 or 4 months a year. But other than that, it's as hot. The winters aren't that cold. It's a little less colder than here.
What do you think you get to in the winters, like degrees-wise?
Well, I'm trying to convert into Fahrenheit. But yeah, I think it only goes down to about 68, 70-ish.
Oh, that's chill.
Exactly,
That's real
yeah.
chill.
When nothing below that.
So you still get scorching heat. So
Oh yeah.
I can
May,
believe that,
June,
especially over there in
pretty-
India.
yeah.
Pretty
Oh, yeah.
cool. Yeah, you guys are pretty big over there. Yeah, I would love to go down there
You
sometime.
should.
I mean-
it's a fun place to be.
Everybody likes to travel, but India's definitely on my hit spot because, like you said yourself, from what I've heard, everybody is friendly in India. It's
Pretty much, yeah.
like I don't know how many wars or stuff you guys have had there and all that.
Plenty, yes, and we got all neighboring countries that hate us.
Oh
but
yeah,
it's cool. That's
yeah.
everything.
You gotta keep in mind that. But other than that, yeah, I just heard that India's just a nice place itself.
It is, and especially my city. Like, if you're coming to India, Mumbai is a spot you should definitely hit.
Well, I'll have to come visit you and your fam sometime, especially go see your
Yeah,
boys
man.
too. What was their name again? Your group?
Anand Bhaskar Collective.
Island Buster Collective. Cool. So let's talk about you a little bit more about your background.
Mhm.
So explain to us a little bit about where your musical talent comes from exactly. You were saying more about your mama does some singing?
Yes. So yeah, that's basically when I was very young, she was the one who was behind me to learn some kind of instrument, and I was pretty interested in it too. So I started learning this percussive instrument called the tabla, and that's where it all started. Then I gravitated more towards drums, and I took lessons for drums. And my sister bought a guitar. She didn't play it much, but it was a guitar at house, so I started learning guitar a little bit on my own. So I kind of, try to explore and get things under my belt as much as I can.
Which is good, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
and
get a taste of everything.
yeah, it helps with the audio engineering. Once you know
I
how
believe
a
that,
instrument
yeah.
sounds up front, it's way easier to predict how it should sound in the mix.
So is she like the only musician from the family?
Well, yeah, she is the only musician, but my sister has a graduation in a dance form in India called Bharatnatyam. So she was actually doing a post graduation in dance along with commerce, and now she's doing law. So she's also into a
okay.
couple different things, probably
got
just
you.
like me. Yeah.
Everybody's got to find themselves somewhere.
Yeah.
Very cool. So is there anyone down more of a line that, has that you could give credit for the musicality at all? Or
Well, my mom's father,
yeah?
my grandfather, he was the one that introduced me to tabla in the first place.
Ah, okay.
But
So
yeah, that was way long ago. I was like 3 or 4 years old.
grandpa showed you the way, huh?
Yeah,
Cool.
and that's how I was introduced to the instrument. But my mom is the one who basically pushed me through it, and dad obviously supported. And then he got me my first drum kit. It's like paying for your own headache, but he did.
Wow. That's beautiful that you had that support with there
Oh, yeah,
too.
definitely.
There's nothing I love more than just seeing a musician and having their home just by their side.
Oh yeah,
Because
it's a huge relief.
the music itself, the future, what they see, it's scary. Everybody wants their kid to succeed, but the music business, it's not easy.
Oh,
It's a one big competition. It's like trying to
Definitely.
get in like the NFL. Everybody wants to be a part of it somehow.
True.
So, does your mom still sing today? Like, is that her profession, or what are your folks do?
She's actually a doctor, along with being
A doctor.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, she takes a couple music tuitions now. She doesn't sing professionally anymore, but as in her primary concentration is medicine. But along with that, she teaches kids.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Is the father figure, does he do anything too, or?
Dad's into business, so he's pretty much into it. He's the one who's supporting all of us, so he concentrates on that.
Amen. All right. Good deal. And he's got your back too, I'm
Oh
assuming.
yeah, definitely.
Good deal. All right. So, tell us, how long you been doing this? How long? You said it was you started at 3 years old, basically.
I didn't exactly start playing that time. I was introduced to the instrument then. But
Okay.
about when I was 7 years old is when I started taking lessons for it.
Okay.
And
So
started
7
going-
is like usually when you started just thinking like, hey, I actually really like this. and
right. Yeah, it was
wanna
more
become
of
a little better at it.
Exactly, it was more of a very passive hobby at that point of time.
Cool.
Then as I started doing it more, I got into it, and things merged together.
Did you play like any bands in schools or anything? Like, like,
Not really, just about annual day functions and stuff like that. When I got into college, I started playing with a couple different bands. And
cool. How many bands have you done or been with?
A lot actually, about 6 or 7, I guess. But yeah,
All
as a-
percussion, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your favorite type of style from drummer to drummer here? What's your favorite type of style to play?
Well, you can't really pinpoint. As a drummer, you understand that that when you find a good funk song, you get into the groove. You like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
But when you really like a good blues song, you just want to lay back and listen to the
Yes.
guitars sometimes.
Somebody
Yeah.
here agrees with me.
Yeah, and
Very
then
cool.
when it comes to progressive rock, you just want to be the whole backbone of the band and guide everything.
There you
that's,
go.
That's a kick in itself too. It's pretty fun.
I think my favorite feelings out of all that what you can experience is definitely funk, because how easily that the tempo can change
Mhm.
miraculously, and the fact that like people are either gonna look at you or the bass player. I mean, if the bass player's doing good with you, if you're thumping and you're kicking with each other,
Right.
it's such a good mix up, and I love
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Basically, I think it's the energy that
Yeah.
you get to put in when you're playing funk
Yeah, and
mostly.
with funk jazz, what is beautiful is everything can change while you're playing.
Oh yeah,
That's the great part.
that's what makes it funky,
Improvisations.
man.
Exactly. And it keeps the music alive rather than just going by the click and going, as in, it's important to go by the click, but just going by the arrangement itself. You can, digress a little bit, get your own elements inside, but you need to be smart about it. Like in a band, everybody needs to give each other their space. Otherwise,
Hmm.
it's just a whole mess. So having that chemistry with your bandmates is something that I really enjoy. And it comes out in funk jazz and,
There's nothing better than a band that gets along and read each other.
right, yeah.
You watch the pros do it. Like one of my favorite live performances is Led Zeppelin 1970 Royal Albert Hall.
Oh my God, yeah.
Have you seen that
I
one?
have seen that one.
Okay, like the chemistry, them on stage. There's so many times where, like, I'm looking at John Bonham. He's my favorite drummer.
Okay.
And when the camera goes to him, I'm just watching, like, where his mind is, where his eyeballs are at.
Right.
Most of the time, they're up in the air. They're up somewhere else. Like, he's barely looking at his bandmates.
Right.
Something I do often if I'm trying to get attention or trying to change the groove or something. But it's just that band is we're so in sync that anytime he just lowered the tempo, banged a certain sound, the band immediately knew what to do.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I look forward to.
Yeah, me
Bandmates
too.
are like brothers, man. It's got to be that.
I mean, it's just like I feel like you find that certain group of people, and it's just I think you're sold for life with them.
Definitely,
because
I agree.
Why would you break up such a good chemistry?
True.
So we'll talk about more about your band experience. How old were you when you first got in your first band?
I was in. This was back in 2009, I believe. Yeah, so about 6 or 7 years ago. Is that 5 years ago? No, more. It's 2016. So yeah, 7 years ago.
Okay.
So that was the first band experience I had. It was a regular college band. We used to go and participate in competitions. We won a couple, we lost a couple. It was all cool.
What was your name?
It was called Malfunction, as all kids name it.
Malfunction.
With the F too.
Dude, I love the creativity, man. There's nothing.
It was really, as in, yeah.
The people that
It was
I
cool
meet,
at that point in time.
Oh yeah, of course. Dude, my first band name ever, Abstract Reflections.
Hell yeah.
That was the first cheesy band name ever, and we rolled with it for probably like 5 months or something.
Right.
And after like 2 shows, I remember somebody told us, he was like, basically our band is a mouthful, and I was like, dude, a day to remember, that's a mouthful. And they go, yeah, but you're not day to remember. I said, okay, all right, fine, I get that. So I love hearing people, especially like people like you and me, people who have band experience. I love hearing the first band names because they're always the best, man.
Exactly.
It's like the first girlfriend. For some reason, every person I've ever met, their first girlfriend, the last name is always funny. I love that stuff. Like mine first was like, her last name was Flippin', no joke.
Really?
And then I met her, dude. Her name was Schwiggy. Like,
Oh my God.
that's awesome.
That's
like,
really awesome.
just the comparisons. They're good bond moments for that.
True.
So, out of all, you said you play in a bunch of bands. Out of all of them, which one did you like enjoy the most?
As in, my last band was when I was at the height of my skills when it comes to drumming. So definitely, I was playing with better musicians. These guys were all like 5 or 6 years elder to me. They had more musical experience. I was learning a lot from them. I still do. So that definitely was my best experience when it comes to a band, because not only were they my bandmates, they were also teaching me a lot about performance and how to basically go about once you're on stage, when you're off stage, how jams are supposed to work. Because it was really organized and they knew what they were doing, and I could really learn from them about all these band dynamics.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So they teach you stuff how to like read crowds and figure out where the groove is gonna go, stuff like that.
Yes, and basically just get into exercises where you develop that chemistry we were just talking about. And it's obviously a lot of practice, but it also comes with a lot of understanding of what the music actually is.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was a cool experience.
Well, to bring the question in a different direction, out of all the bands, which one do you think was the worst one you did?
Oh, there was this band that I played with only once.
Oh.
Yeah. For being nice, I'm not going to name that band or the people, but oh my God.
Tell us about it.
Well, it was, I got referred to that band as a drummer from a friend of mine who's actually a really good drummer back home. He's doing a lot of projects right now. And that asshole did it because he didn't want to play with that band.
Oh.
So he called me after the gig, like, how was it? I was like, wait till you meet me.
What was so bad about it exactly?
It was just, it was a bunch of kids. They didn't know
Bunch
what
of
they were doing.
kids.
Yeah.
I knew it. That's what I had in mind.
As in, yeah, they were old enough, but as musicians, they were pretty young.
Gotcha.
They didn't have a lot of
yeah.
experience.
Not a lot of
Yeah,
experience.
they
What-
couldn't understand their problems. That was the worst part.
Really?
Yeah.
Was like somebody obsessed with solos and the other person didn't want to play metal or something like that?
Well, I could feel that at least they were being civil to each other, which was a good part. As in, they were good people. Don't get me wrong, but just having to play one song without showcasing your instrument too much, making it sound like a song, is something that they did not get.
Jeez, everybody wants to show off so bad.
Yeah.
Were they all covers or were they originals? Because if they were originals, that would just be the icing on the cake for me.
Yep. There were some originals. There were some covers. It was a blend of both.
Well, let me guess. Was there like, I'm going to say like, what's an easy thing? Was there Weezer covers or something? I'm trying to think of the most
No,
generic covers.
Not really. It was a band which was more based off Indian music. So
I gotcha.
yeah, so it was different kind of music. It was still with guitars, drums, and bass and everything, but it was still Indian music. So
Man, that's funny. I think the worst band I've been in, I've been about 3 or 4, and I think the worst one was Abstract Reflections, my first one.
Okay.
Granted, you have to start somewhere,
Right.
but I remember our problem was finding a singer.
Right.
Singing.
It's always
finding
always
a
the thing.
singer. It's always the biggest thing to find. And I remember we had to make do. You know, we had a show coming up. It wasn't a talent show, but it was a function that our high school was putting together, and we were the only high school band.
Right.
So my principal approached us and asked us, and of course we said yes, but neither of us we were all newbies to it.
Right.
We just loved playing music and stuff.
Yeah.
So we didn't know anything about being on stage. And I remember the problem was we didn't have a singer. So what we would improvise by taking our bass player. I'm not going to say his name either. I don't know where he is today, but he was obsessed with Slipknot. He was obsessed with Korn. He was a
Right.
big metalhead.
Right.
And I love metal too, nothing against it, but that wasn't our image.
Right.
But then again, I was probably too young to even know what an image was for a band.
True, as in.
I was interested in all the old classics. You know, I'm talking like 1940s to
Oh yeah.
like early 2000s. Meanwhile, I got one dude that's obsessed with 3 Days Grace. I got another dude that loves nothing but screaming. And then I got one dude, the rhythm guitarist. Only thing he knows how to play is "Ship Me Off to Boston" by the Dropkick Murphys. That's it. That's all he knew how to play.
Right.
So of course we had to learn that song. And it turns out that he was just a friend of the lead guitarist. Like he's just like, oh, I want to be in a band. And he's like,
Oh my god.
hop
Yeah.
on, we'll be a freaking 5-man.
You know what's
band.
worse than that? When the vocalist is the bass player's girlfriend.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, for the listeners out there, here is a big rule for bands and groups. Nobody in the band should be dating anybody in the band.
True.
Nothing but problems will come to that, okay? I don't care how romantic that is. I don't care how hot it is.
Yep.
It's at the end of the day, it's gonna be nothing but problems, dude. If it isn't like sparking of the two couples, it's gonna be like jealousy or something that will just light it up.
It's gonna be even worse if only one of them is good.
And you know, oh yeah, you're trying to tell the singer, you know, you love her, but you suck. But how do I tell you this?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, don't ever date your bandmates. But we all have to start somewhere. And I remember that little gig. I mean, in my idea, I think it went okay. We played, I think, 3.5 songs because they cut us off. We didn't know how to do a time thing on a set list, so I think we just went over and then they just like, okay, like we were in the middle of a chorus or something like that.
Been there.
Yeah.
Definitely been there.
A little embarrassing, but you gotta learn.
Yeah.
Cool. I just love talking to people who are in bands, man. It's the best. So let's go on to artists about it. Who's your favorite artist, Bhushan?
Hard to name one, but you just mentioned Led Zeppelin. They're
Led
pretty
Zepp-
damn good.
Yeah.
Love John Bonham, obviously. If a drummer doesn't love John Bonham, I'm judging.
I mean, you got to give respect, you know.
Oh yeah, and in the more modern times, have you heard of the band Snarky Puppy?
I don't think I have, but my engineering is nodding yes. Tell us about it just for my sake.
I think it's the best group of musicians alive today.
What's their name?
Snarky Puppy.
Snarky Poppy.
Yeah, they're Brooklyn
Puppy.
based. Puppy, yeah. Sorry.
Tell me about them.
Yeah, there's this Brooklyn-based jazz fusion band, and it's put together by this bass player called Michael League.
Okay.
And just everybody. I can't name one person on it who's not phenomenal.
Oh.
The drummer Landon Lewis is great. The keyboardist and the synth player Corey Henry, is it? Yeah, Corey Henry, amazing guy. Just their whole you should definitely check them out.
I will.
It's a genius music arrangement, compositions, everything. It's just the best next level music that I've heard in the modern day.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen them live twice. They don't repeat what they did with the song ever again, and its tightness is an understatement.
See, that's rare too.
Yep.
Definitely having that type of style. Like, I know one other person in this world that never plays the same show twice, and that's like my friend Kaylin Ellis. Other than that, a band that can do what they didn't, like changing that up, just like you said, that's pretty awesome.
Right, yeah. As in, everybody should definitely check these guys out.
Okay, Snarky
Puppy.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Is it spelled like Puppy and all
yeah,
that?
they've actually got a bulldog photo as their logo or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'll check that out. All right. It was like fusion jazz. Is that what you said?
Yeah, as in it's pretty much technical jazz, but they have a lot of different elements, so you could call it fusion jazz.
Okay. For me, it's like I'm having trouble finding more and more like singers and groups I like in today's time because I don't know, I'm old fashioned and I'm trying not to be picky and like really really anal about genres and stuff, but I think you have to start converting to things sooner or later.
True.
Everything's changing, dude.
You should like everything, but you should always specialize in one thing, is what I feel.
I can agree with that. So other than Snarky Puppy, who else do you like?
Well, Bjork is one independent artist now, completely different from a band that has 20 plus members. Bjork is just one girl, and oh my god, her music is amazing. Again, that's what I do as a mixing engineer. I try to listen to all different kinds of music, and if you ask me a favorite artist or a band, it's very hard to say because every genre has this one person that cannot be compared to somebody else in a different genre who's at the same
100%
level.
agree with you on that.
So yeah, it's very difficult for me to name a favorite band, but
I remember.
If I got to go back, if I got to go back and tell you what music I like to listen to when I'm by myself, it's definitely got to be funk jazz or blues.
Yeah.
Something like that, just chill with a drink, couple friends on a record player.
Yes.
That's the way to go.
You read my mind. Yes. Going on the comparison thing, I got a stupid story. I remember because we all go to Full Sail.
Right.
And I remember it was probably maybe the 4th month of being at Full Sail, and I just remember this kid, and he was obviously a rapper because if you didn't know by now, if you're listening to the show, Full Sail's it's just full of rappers.
Yep.
I remember this kid talking in the hallway. We're waiting to get in class and stuff, and the dude was just being really loud. And he was talking about his SoundCloud and just trying to represent himself. And I just remember the Beatles came up. Very, very respected band. I think I would say 80% of the planet probably likes the Beatles at least.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just remember this guy, somehow it came out of his mouth that he compared the Beatles to Lil Wayne. And he was just like, man, the Beatles are garbage, dude. Lil Wayne, that's talent, man. That's art. And I'm just thinking to myself, it's like, dude, that's like comparing milk and hot sauce. There's no way to compare those two, dude.
Yeah, nothing against Lil Wayne, but how do you even get that statement and justify
I don't know.
it?
It just the fact the dude was so freaking loud. That's how I was able to just retell you his story.
Right.
Other than that, I wasn't paying attention to anything. I don't think I want to know what this guy has going on through his head.
True, man.
A comment like that. So, who was the girl that does it by herself that you like?
Bjork with a B.
Bjork. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, what is her type of style exactly?
It's mostly electronic music and very ambient vocals, but it's very complex. I don't know if which is the other person I can compare it to. Actually, nothing's coming to mind right now, but
I know Beck. He does everything by himself.
It's kind of similar, but not quite. It's a pretty unique kind of music, and synth work is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had somebody tell me, I can't remember who, but I remember somebody told me the band Boston.
Oh yeah.
That it's all one person.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, actually I think it was my engineer. That's right. Griffin told me, and yeah, Boston is all one dude. I did not know that. Right, because you listen to a track and all that.
Yeah.
Sounds like a kick butt band.
Exactly.
Especially like on the choruses and the vocals and stuff. But
Right.
apparently that's produced by one dude. That's pretty genius. So I guess, you don't need a band sometimes. If you think you can do it all by yourself, by all means.
We've had people like the White Stripes too.
Yeah. I mean, White Stripes are the best. I personally think that Meg White's a terrible drummer. But, I can see why you say the White Stripes, because Jack pretty much he still does, did everything.
Yeah.
I was actually watching, you like James Bond, 007?
Oh, yeah.
I was actually watching, Quantum of Solace. I think that's the one. Yeah, got on a DVD over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the intro of it. I actually got on Spotify. I had to find it. It's called like Another Way to Die, and it has Jack White and Alicia Keys.
Mm-hmm.
The song is just kick-ass, dude. Like, I love it so much. I've been listening to it like 3 days straight now.
Damn, man.
Jack White, he does everything perfect. I love his style. I think my favorite song by Jack is like, I'm more of a White Stripes kid, so definitely like I fell in love with a girl. I'm not gonna say like Seven Nation Army because that's just so.
That's what everybody would say.
Yeah, I know it's a
great song, but that's what everyone would say.
Yeah, man, it's just that I'm tired of it in a certain way. I mean, there's so many remixes, and so many like the amount of memes I've seen with it. It's just I'm burnt out on it.
True.
Just like Bohemian Rhapsody, I'm burned out on it, dude.
Oh, as in
Queen.
I don't know. Yeah, as in Bohemian Rhapsody is a song that I cannot be burned out on. Maybe I just love that song so much.
Right. Yeah, that's just me. I've heard it too many friggin' times.
Yeah, maybe 20 years more, maybe I'll be burned out, but not right now.
Yeah. But enough about me. So you definitely, you got your favorite band, and then you got that certain somebody that you respect because of what she can produce all by herself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's not just that. Of course, what music she makes. God forbid, love her stuff. But if there was one artist that you could, work with, make a piece with, a song, just one song, and it could be a band or it could be York, but who would you want to work with?
And then I'm actually going to go ahead and say Snarky Puppy because I'm actually pursuing that strain. I'm trying to look up their engineers and try to get, a more into that loop. And that is my target right now. As in, you have to see their album. They have their videos up on YouTube of how they record their albums.
Yeah.
It's just like a silent listening party. All the audience has their headphones on, and the whole place is mic'd up, and that's how they record their albums.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, and you listen to the mixes, you feel like each instrument has been taken, ripped apart in the studio, layered, but to just see that video and believe that it's live, it's unbelievable.
Wow, I'm checking that out for sure.
Yeah. As in the music itself, and then the skill of the recording and the mixing engineers when having so much bleed from all around the place. There are songs which has 2 drum kits right next to each other. I don't know how they sound so clean, but they managed it, and I really like to learn how.
Do your research for sure.
Yeah.
And you're at the right school to figure out the proper tools for that stuff too if you haven't already.
Definitely. Full Sail's a lot of help.
So I got a question. What's your favorite part about producing? What's your favorite part about making the music, man?
Making the music.
Making the music?
Yeah. Keep the technical, as in I love being technical about it. I'm an electronics engineer, so yes, I love circuits. I like to geek out on things. I like to have long conversations about which mic sounds good or which preamp sounds good and why, and what the company did to make it sound that particular way, why tubes sound better or not. I love to have all these discussions, but imagine you have the greatest studio in the world and shitty music. It's not going to work.
Right.
So it's got to be the music. Just coming up to an artist, listening to his or her music, and getting connected with it. I think that's the best part about it. You listen to something, and then your head starts turning into a technical direction and into a more arrangement focus, or what instrumentalization can be done on that. Things like that. So all that comes later. First, if a song can catch me with just one person singing it with an acoustic guitar, I'd be more sold on that than listening to a fully produced song that has a lot of gimmicks involved.
Okay, I can feel that. Understand. Neat. And from that side, it's is that what you also would look into when it comes to lifting your favorite artists and stuff like that?
Well, when it comes to my favorite artists, it's definitely the music first, but as I said, I like to geek out on things too. So if it's some great synth work, if it's some great recording techniques, as I just mentioned, then that also contributes to taste in music.
I got you.
Mhm.
I love the Foo Fighters, and
Oh yeah.
the main reason why I like him is Dave. I love Dave Grohl himself, mainly because of his background
Hmm.
and how many bands he's jumped and created. I remember Googling him once, and I was trying to see how, like, his resume himself, just trying to see what is this dude completely made of. And he's done things with Queens of Stone. He's done 2 albums, being the drums and a little bit of backing for Queen of the Stone Age.
Hmm.
He's worked a little bit with 30 Second to Mars, of course, Nirvana. That's a no brainer. Same with the Foo and the band that he made with the singer and the guitar player for Queens of Stone Age.
Hmm.
He himself on the drums, and the bass player from Led Zeppelin.
Damn.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
And I also read, like, he did an interview himself where he almost got into the band Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Almost did. Apparently Tom liked him so much, and then they just got talking. That's just how musicians work. And apparently just like, hey man, you wanna come hop on this tour with us? We could use a couple hand and stuff. I forget what the reason was, but he backed out. And in the interview, he said, "I was this close, man. I was this close." He would have been set for life being one of the Heartbreakers.
Well, he's already set for life, I feel. But
For real,
but still, yeah.
No kidding. So yeah, that's just my relation to you. Looking in more, of course, it's the music, and then I respect a band a whole lot more when you get to know more about them.
True. It's like knowing a song. You like the music first, but then you listen to the lyrics and you like it more. Or
Exactly.
less.
That happened the other way around back when Pumped Up Kicks came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was in middle school when that crap came out. Like, cool song. I like it. And I remember when it came out, everyone was all about it. It was on everyone's iPod. And then when word got around what the subject matter was, I swear, everyone's mom took it off. Like, no, you're not listening to this. No influence. It's like, It's just a song, man. Like,
yep.
I hate people that just they push their political beliefs, their religious beliefs off. Like, they hate a band now all because they say a certain thing.
Yeah, man. So much for freedom of speech, right?
Yeah, dude, it's a song, man. Like, Tyler the Creator?
No.
He's a rapper and a producer.
Okay.
And there's a lot of vulgar lyrics that he uses sometimes. Mm-hmm. And when they ask him in interviews and all that, when they go, so are you actually a rapist and you actually kill people? He's like, no, they're just words. It's just part of the song. It's what makes the song the song.
Exactly, yeah.
If you judge me on my lyrics like that, do me a favor, don't listen to my music then.
Yeah,
because you ain't gonna like me forever.
If you start judging a movie and judging the director the same way because he made that movie, it's not fair, right? So why do it with an artist who makes music?
It's just a piece of art, man.
Exactly. A painting. If somebody has a painting of a nude woman, that doesn't mean that he's, trying to demean her or anything.
Yeah,
it's a piece of art. Why can't songs be treated the same way?
Bingo, man. Thank you. Bingo. So now that I'm off my rant, let's go a little bit into some collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
I believe here at KirbKast, we believe that collaboration is a big key. It's a good source of getting better at your craft. Making music, writing music, playing with music and stuff.
Right.
What's your opinions on collaboration?
I think they're great. As in, it's like meeting new people in general. You meet new people, you talk to them, you learn more about them. As in, it can be a good experience or a bad experience, but you still learn from them either ways.
Okay.
It's the same with collaborations. You might have a bad experience, but then you know what not to do.
Okay.
And if it's a good experience, you learn from it. So collaborations are definitely, I'm a complete advocate of it. Go meet new people, try to listen to their music, try to incorporate that in your music, and just come up with something completely different that maybe even you didn't expect out of yourself.
There you go. And you, of course, been in multiple bands and all that. You've done many sources of times of collaboration, correct?
Yes.
What are some times you could share with us? Like your best moments of working with people.
Right. So basically, this last band I was talking about was a complete coincidence that I landed in that band. I did not know any of the band members from before.
Oh yeah.
So it was just the vocalist. He put up. There was this group called Music Lovers, one of these random groups on Facebook that you join just to check out what people like and what the trend is going on about music and everything.
Okay.
And he posted out there that he's looking for a drummer. And I sent him a private message with some of the recordings I had from me playing in other bands. and it just kind of worked out. So that was also me reaching out to learn something new about this different person and different kind of music. And I wasn't really into progressive rock or alternative rock actually, when I joined the band. But I learned so much from it. Like I listened, always into the music per se, but when you
Yeah.
start playing the music, it's a completely different experience.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what, as in I got a very cool experience from it.
There you
And
go.
yeah, it was
And,
fun.
like me, the thing is when people are so afraid to talk to other people, it's kind of sad. But you got to get out there sometimes.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
like it how you didn't know any of these people. You
Yeah.
just went out on a limb. You just answered a dude's request, a question, and you picked up a lot from it. And I'm sure you made some new friends and some new
Oh yeah, a lot of new
contacts.
friends, and these bandmates are like my brothers now. Like every time I'm gonna go back home, I'm definitely gonna see them, exchange thoughts. We talk about music all the time. We talk about mixing all the time. So it's great.
I think that's awesome, man. I'm trying to think if anything like that happened to me. Oh yeah, my mother, they support me in my music and stuff. And I
Hmm.
remember she had like a coworker or something like that who had a son that was in a Michael Jackson cover band, and they said that their drummer recently had a falling out with them and all that, and they were looking for somebody. And I
Right.
was gonna hop on that with them, and actually got to meet the band members and stuff. I never got to play with them, sadly, but they were great people. They had a male and a female double lead singer
Hmm.
style, and it was pretty cool. Their chemistry was awesome. They showed me some like live footage of them playing,
Right.
and they were just great people. They were so easy to talk to, and it made me think. It's like, I don't know any of these saps,
Hmm.
but it's just the fact that we have music in common. We both like the same artists.
Right.
Amazing of what type of spark it just makes.
True, man. Isn't
And I still talk to those people today too.
that's great. So you
Yeah.
make friends, or you just learn something from the experience. It's all good. As in, it's important to go out and look for different things.
Bingo. So I'm gonna go and ask you a couple questions here. A challenge.
Hmm.
You yourself, you impressed me enough with your music, and I'm sure you did with the world. But what is a challenge for the Govilkar mixes that go out there? What do you run into when you're in your stage, when you're making stuff?
Well, when we are talking with mixes, there is 100 different things that can go wrong.
Ah,
And those 100 different things, that set of things changes with every song, every genre, every artist, every situation. If you're recording in a really badass studio, or you're recording at home, when you're recording at home, you're getting phasing issues, you don't have the right acoustics. So as in, it's very hard to pinpoint a particular thing that can go wrong with a mix. But as in, bottom line, everybody needs to understand, and our professors do well to emphasize on this, that mixing is, at its most basic nature, getting a good balance between the instruments. You either use frequencies for it, or you use the amplitude of those signals, or you use the faders, whatever it is. You need to make sure that everybody is heard in the right proportion at the right time.
all right.
So as long as you keep that in mind, I think it is quite possible to tackle all these issues. But it of course requires a lot of ear training. As and I can't even say that I'm like a 10% into having the ears that I wish to have. But yes, and it's a process. It's like learning any other instrument. You got to train the muscles.
Of course. Cool. Okay, I understand that. I know that a challenge that I've run into a couple times is just more of trying to figure out what the next step is when either writing a song or just like I'm a drummer and
Hmm.
I'm not as talented as you when it comes to writing and
Oh,
such
come
as
on,
that.
man.
I know, self-loathing. Wow.
Yeah.
But when I do get into that mode and stuff, it's like the thing is that I run into itself. It's not really more of writer block. It's just, or maybe it is, but what it's like the mood itself. I have no idea what I'm feeling. I don't fully understand, and it's sad. But sometimes I'll listen to just other, I listen to other music, and I may get influenced by other stuff, and I may accidentally make it sound like it. And I do my best to just skip away from that type of thing.
Hmm.
But like that's my only source too.
But
So
that's nothing wrong with it.
I've had people tell me that, of course, and they're also like, "Oh, well, that's kind of a bad habit, to try to like copy another artist." It's like I don't see it as much as copying, but at the same time,
Copy
it
from
may
10 different
sound
artists,
like
and
it.
you're 11th new artist.
Say again?
Copy from 10 different artists, and you're not going to sound like any of them. You're going to sound like yourself.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. So I guess advice for myself, what would you recommend other than listening to 10 other artists and stuff?
As in, I wouldn't be the best person to talk about writing music per se, because I've always been into, you know, when the music comes to me, I go into more of arrangements and, picking out which instruments would go with what. And that's what I have been kind of doing. And also writing of course, drum parts for different songs. But when I face such a block, it's totally cool to go out there, listen to similar kind of music, try to understand what they're trying to do with it. And you don't really, I wouldn't call it copying. You get inspired from something and then you implement your own version of that idea in your music. And even if you don't do that, even if you really come up with something, what are the chances that nobody in the past history of recorded music has never done that?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah,
So there's
no point sweating over that part.
Okay. Yeah. And there's so much that hasn't been written. It's ridiculous, and I don't think there'll ever be a fully. I'm not going to try to say that, but you're right. There's still tons of sounds and tons
Yeah,
of things out there that just still hasn't been created.
exactly.
I feel you there. Thank you. Okay. So talking a little more about band talk and stuff. What are some tips and advice you would give more about being in a band? Because it's sad that like it's more about being a solo artist and okay, maybe having some backing singers every now and then, but it's more of a face now, stuff like Taylor Swift, stuff
Hmm.
like JT, stuff like that. It's more of a face than it is a band.
Right.
What are some advice that you could give for people who are just trying to get a band stable, going, stuff like that?
Well, it is, you're right. It's gotten more and more difficult because the lead person of the band really doesn't want to share the limelight with other people anymore.
Yeah.
But as in, I don't, I see bands coming up all the time and these people are really good. So it kind of depends on what you decide to be for yourself. If you want to be that face, then be that face. But there are problems that come with it. There are also some solutions that come with it. Like, nothing against Taylor Swift, but if she's really writing all of her music, it's great. Why not? If
Oh
she
yeah,
can manage all the parts, then why not?
yeah. She deserves to be in
Yeah,
her face to be on the limelight. Okay.
right, yeah. But my problem comes when you can't handle a whole song and you still want to take credit for all of it.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, if you're sitting with a guitarist or a violinist or a drummer or anybody or a bass player, and if they contribute to writing the song, then call yourself a band.
Okay. Interesting question. So things like, for example, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers,
Mhm.
Casey and the Sunshine Band, stuff like this. Um, we don't know. At least I don't know if the whole band wrote the music or if Casey just did it themselves. But you think, for example, like Taylor Swift. I
Mhm.
don't know for sure, but if she writes all her music, I don't know if she pays people or not. But
Mhm.
let's say that she didn't, and she only gets so much that she can. Maybe it's just lyrics, and that's about it.
Mhm.
You think that if she doesn't write all the stuff, that she should at least have something in her title, like Taylor Swift and the Shooting Stars or something like that?
Yeah, but at this point, as in, I think the most of her credit goes to the producers.
Producers?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
they get in the musicians that would work well with that kind of song, and the musicians keep changing. These are session musicians, and as in, yeah, they do get the money for it. They do get credit, but if she sticks to a particular set of people, I think they deserve some of the shared stage presence as she
Okay.
does. As in, you can't really have it like a show like The Voice, where there's one person singing and they don't even have the cameras on the band.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, as in, I just feel everybody should get their rightful, credit to their contribution to a song. That's all.
Agreed. You think credits is enough, or do you think they would? You think they should deserve more?
They should deserve more, but as in, it's a rough world, man. As in,
Yeah.
if you're getting the money and the credit, then it keeps the ball rolling, and most artists are okay with it.
Yeah, that's
I-
maybe
I wish
they
it
don't
was
probably
different.
don't care that much as
Yeah.
I would at least.
As in, the best example is my own band, Anand Bhaskar Collective. Anand Bhaskar is the name of the guy.
Yeah.
And I'm totally cool with that because he wrote all the music.
Oh yeah, of course. yeah.
Exactly. And so I was like, definitely, you deserve all the credit to this music. We are helping you perform this music, but it's your music. And,
Seem like kind of flattered to just be part of the collective.
yeah, as in, it's not even a flattered emotion kind of anything, but it's just about giving the rightful credit to the right person.
Bingo.
That's it. That's plain and simple as that.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Well, thank you. Yeah, there you are. Well, Bhushan, I'm going to ask you a little bit more about your content. What do you have out there? You know, other than the collective guys and all that. What does Bhushan have to offer coming on the internet?
Well, musically, I haven't been really putting out a lot of stuff as my own because I'm more focused on being a mixing engineer and a recording engineer right now.
Okay, that's where the
And
money is. Yeah.
yeah, and not just the money. Definitely enjoy doing what I do.
Okay.
And yeah, occasional drums and everything is totally cool. I love doing that. I like to play by myself, play and jam with people. But what I'm trying to do as a career right now is audio engineering, be it live sound or studio or mixing or recording or whatever it is. So my major content that is out there is I've worked on shows like MTV Unplugged in India.
Oh yeah.
I worked as a junior engineer on season 3 MTV Unplugged in India, and on the 4th season, the person I was working under left the show, and he recommended me and 2 of my other friends to take charge instead of him. So I was the assistant recording engineer with 2 of my friends who were the head recording engineers.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So it was pretty cool, and I worked on other shows like Coke Studios, which is a big collaborative show that we were talking about a little while ago. And this is basically one music producer or one artist coming to stage and bringing together 3 or 4 different artists and basically making new arrangements of their songs or just writing new songs for the show itself. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that does sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah, as in that was one of the most challenging projects I've been on. It's close to a 250 lines coming in, 3-way split, monitors, FOH and recording, and then we have to mix the whole thing down and it goes on the show. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, sounds like a rodeo, but definitely sounds like a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
So, is there anything else like YouTube's or SoundClouds or anything, Spotify, stuff like that?
Not really. I haven't really been putting out much of my own music.
I understand.
But my band stuff is out there, and we have one album, and I think they are coming up with the second album this December. Unfortunately, I couldn't be a part of it because I'm here, but
of course,
I would definitely recommend listening to their music. It's pretty cool stuff.
All right. Well, I'll be sure to share that stuff in the description of the video as well, so
awesome,
people
thanks.
can definitely get involved with the collective.
Thanks.
Cool. So, you can edit this out, but how much time we have now?
52.
We're at 52? Okay, good. All right. So, yeah, edit this in. I'm about to come in. I'm about to ask you about advice. All right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here we go. All right, so Bhushan, just before we end the show here, there's always something I always ask every guest, and it is advice. For the people that listen to the show are mostly producers and songwriters, people, who want to get next into the exposure. They want to be the next big thing, but what advice could you give them, for their craft, to get somewhere?
Well, the major thing to remember out here is to not be stuck up with your own material. Explore new things, talk to new people, and learn about different techniques of recording, producing, whatever your art is. If you're a vocalist, go talk to other vocalists and collaborate or just learn from them, because even if there's somebody who's just started out and you've been doing this for 10 years, I've faced this a lot of times where I learned something new from somebody who I'm teaching, for example. And it's a huge world out there. Why restrict yourself to just your stuff?
Right.
There are producers who okay, I'm just going to produce my own music and I'm doing a recording arts course and mixing course just to mix my own music. I'm like, why restrict yourself? Go out there, polish your craft, work with as many people as you can, and eventually you will get better at what you do by doing stuff for others too.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Well, there you guys. You heard it first from Bhushan Govilkar. There it is. All right, well, guys, thank you for guys tuning in. This was KirbKast again. I appreciate you guys listening to it. Big thanks for Bhushan coming out to the studio, pal. Thank you very much.
No problem, man. Thank you so much for having me out here. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, man. We thank you for coming, especially bringing it simple all the way from India, man. That's awesome. And big shout out thanks to my engineer, Griffin Durand, for putting us with you all throughout this whole season.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys
Always
much.
Thank the engineer. That's another
advice.
Yes,
thank you. I'm sorry it isn't KirbKast and the engineer, but, time will tell where we go next with it.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, this has been KirbKast. This is Kirby Farrell signing off. Thank you.